Good morning, students. This is Mr. Nathanson. Today is Tuesday, March 24th. It's so good to virtually see you. I've spoken to a lot of you through Google Meet or Google Hangouts as I'm experimenting with a way to touch base with you personally. Obviously, school has changed a lot in terms of how we deliver instruction, and anything that I am doing over the last couple weeks has been optional. I'm not grading anything, but I thought today I would start to read a book out loud to you. I am hoping to set up a book talk later this week to talk about themes within the book, test your comprehension, things like that. But the book I'll be reading is the BFG, as you can see on your screen. I thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to shave, do my hair, get dressed up. And with barbershops being shut down for the foreseeable future, next time we see each other, I might very well look like this. This is exactly what my hair would look like if I let it grow, so we will see how long it takes for us to be with each other once again in the school building. But in all seriousness, let's get back to the book at hand. I'm going to read one chapter at a time. So again, this is the BFG. And the first chapter, they're not really numbered, is called The Witching Hour. So here goes. Sophie couldn't sleep. A brilliant moonbeam was slanting through a gap in the curtains. It was shining right onto her pillow. The other children in the dormitory had been asleep for hours. Sophie closed her eyes and lay quite still. She tried very hard to doze off. It was no good. The moonbeam was like a silver blade slicing through the room onto her face. The house was absolutely silent. No voices came up from downstairs. There was no footsteps on the floor above either. The window behind the curtain was wide open, but nobody was walking on the pavement outside. No cars went by on the street. Not the tiniest sound could be heard anywhere. Sophie had never known such a silence. Perhaps, she told herself, this was what they called the witching hour. The witching hour, somebody had once whispered to her, was a special moment in the middle of the night when every child and every grown-up was in a deep, deep sleep, and all the dark things came out from hiding and had the world to themselves. The moonbeam was brighter than ever on Sophie's pillow. She decided to get out of bed and close the gap in the curtains. You got punished if you were caught out of bed after lights out. Even if you said you had to go to the lavatory, that was not accepted as an excuse, and they punished you just the same. But there was no one about now. Sophie was sure of that. She reached out for her glasses that lay on the chair beside her bed. They had steel rims and very thick lenses, and she could hardly see a thing without them. She put them on, then she slipped out of bed and tiptoed over to the window. When she reached the curtains, Sophie hesitated. She longed to duck underneath them and lean out of the window to see what the world looked like now that the witching hour was at hand. She listened again. Everywhere it was deathly still. The longing to look out became so strong she couldn't resist it. Quickly she ducked under the curtains and leaned out of the window. In the silvery moonlight, the village street she knew so well seemed completely different. The houses looked bent and crooked, like houses in a fairy tale. Everything was pale and ghostly and milky white. Across the road she could see Mrs. Rance's shop, where you bought buttons and wool and bits of elastic. It didn't look real. There was something dim and misty about that, too. Sophie allowed her eye to travel further and further down the street. Suddenly she froze. There was something coming up the street on the opposite side. It was something black. Something tall and black. Something very tall and very black and very thin. All right, I'm going to stop right there. That's the end of chapter 1. As we do in class, if there was any unfamiliar vocabulary, I might challenge you to grab a dictionary and look the word up. And I'm not seeing many quotes here, but that's something we always want to keep in mind. If quotes are used in writing, how to use them correctly, is that still something we kind of struggle with when we write. But anyhow, I hope to read another chapter to you later and post it to my Google Classroom. We will certainly not finish this book by the end of the week, but I figure if I get you started and we have some level of conversation about the book, maybe you can finish that over track out. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're safe. Say hello to your parents, and I will hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.